Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're going to look at the IBB on the 10-minute intraday chart and show you the scalp we did intraday. And then we're going to look at the daily, weekly, monthly, but we'll focus on the weekly and a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. So as this was moving up, we were entered a short 296.58. We entered it at the next even number at 297.99. Then we entered the last position at 299.18. Only the high was 299.25, so we caught the high. We almost caught it at the high. Nice topping tail. Also, we had some volume. Look at that. Goes up, comes back. That's a topping tail. When it retraces, I wanted to add more, but I would love to have, maybe at the 300 area, never made it. So chopped around, floated back up on no volume, and then started pulling back, and then boom. Here we go. I didn't hear the news. So at gap, well, it wasn't a gap fill, but at this gap fill, if this candle wasn't here, we covered half, and then about a buck lower at right around 295, we covered half of the half, and then we got 15 cents out of the last half, and I don't know exact. Maybe we made about $4 on this position or so overall, and then of course, as soon as I covered it, it started dumping. But check this out. So we had some support right around 292, 291.87. So when this thing was tanking, if you look at StockTwits, right around 11:08, it was only a minute trade. We were in this thing at 292.10, right in this area. Bounced up. We took it off at 292.70, and we were done. Thank God we saw. And I was like, maybe we'll retrace up to this and we'll get an extra. You know what? I took the 60 cents and said thank you very much. It wasn't a huge position, but good enough to make your heart pound a little bit and get the hell out. Starts coming in, we start consolidating. I'm wondering if there's, that this was just, yeah, there you go. And that's why we consolidated. The next area of support, gap fill. Look at that, it's perfect. Could have scalped it there, but no way. This thing, and then consolidates for only 30 minutes and then continues. Once you start getting this big a volume, you're getting some exhaustion selling, and it's going to stop. Market makers will come in, someone will start to buy the dip, and then it holds. But this thing is setting up to go down. What we're looking for tomorrow, I think I have it on, what we're looking for tomorrow, or at least I am, if you're a bull in this one, you want to recapture this high at 290.39 and confirm, and then possibly it will go up. If it stays consolidating like this and the market's weak, this one's going to head down even lower. Let's go right to the daily. Very important for this to stay above the 200 moving average. If it doesn't, it's going right down to fill the gap at 276.88. And after this sell-off, I mean, it literally wiped out, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 days of up and down. It wiped out in one day. That's why we love to short. I mean, look at this. Boom. Well, here, let's go back. So, and this isn't a good trend line. Let me pull that out. So here's what's happening. So we sell off in the beginning of the year. It comes back right up here. They're all, oh, bio's about to break out. Flush. Bio's about to break out. Flush. Gets right into the 200 moving average. These double tops. Talking heads come out again. Oh, man, got to get in. The biotechs are going to break out. Then we had the little merger thing, I think, with the Biogen or something here. You can't even make this stuff up anymore. Thing just shoots up, gets everybody sucked in holding the bag. Then again, it hits this area up in here, which really, that's not the best area. I mean, we have some support because it tried breaking out, came back, broke out, retraced to this line, broke out. You have a pivot here. You got some pivots there. So this isn't a bad area. Let's do this too. Let's put a fib on this one. I think we're right into the 618 too. That's the 750. We could go up into here. Now, the 618 was a little bit higher, so that's when we would have been adding. Yeah, we talked about the 304 area, then the gap, and then ultimately the 344. But after this reversal, outside red candle, that's pretty ugly. As long as it stays above these moving averages, doesn't say it might tag it and start going up again. That's just the way the markets are. People are conditioned to buy the dips until they don't work. Because if you buy the dip here, goes to gap fill, you'll probably buy more. What if they flush it out to this gap fill or this gap fill? You're going to keep buying more down here? Because when they sell, I mean, this can easily fill this gap tomorrow with no problem if we get some more people running for the exits. And again, this is a light volume ETF. it could definitely dump. Well, just like the XBI too. Is it the XBI? BI or BY? One or the other. So let's get into the weekly chart. Again, same crap. Comes in, buy biotech, sells, buy biotech, sells. This time, this was classic. They ran it up with the markets. Right when it got up into this area, they all hyped it up. I was talking about if this thing gets above the 50 and the 618 and confirms, and I think we're going up into the 304, 308, then ultimately to this high pivot. Again, a lot of people are left holding the bag up in here from last time. You know, let me show you. From this classic inside bar pattern, this inside bar doesn't get, we were short here. Same thing. As everyone was hyping this thing up until it got above the 50 MA, it wasn't going anywhere. And I bet you if you stuck a Fibonacci, I guarantee it's at the green line at the 618. No, the 750. It's usually the 618 or the 750. That's what it retraces to. If it overshoots, it goes to the 750 if you can line it up. But I mean, on the weekly, this was even better. So it comes down, gets everybody like, oh, here it goes. They pop it back up, retrace it to the high. All the weak shorts are like, oh my gosh, it's going up because they're, you know, the CNBC has their pom-poms on, and then the dump fest. Again, sideways action. This one they're trying to go, and right up in here again. Oh, the biotech. So someone needs to get out at higher prices. They're probably stuck in this inside red bar around 331 to 340 area, and if they could get it back there, this thing's going to dump. Once it fills this gap, it's going to dump, even if it gets up there. But today on the weekly, we still have 2 more days. But man, could not confirm. Gets below the 50 MA. We're back into the 50 retrace. We have good support down in here at 275. You could get a bounce, but if this thing starts to dump, you better step aside or tighten those stops for a long. If it stays above the 50 MA, then we could possibly have a little more slightly bullish consolidation and a move up. But this today was ugly. Let's look at the monthly. This is even uglier, just like this chart. Down, sideways, collapse. This is what's really catching my eye. We closed below this inside bar that's even more bearish, and then we're retracing up. I wish it would get into this area, but I don't think it's going to today or this week or this month. This is a monthly close. I would have liked to have seen this thing close above this green bar if you want to go higher prices, if it starts coming back into the 280, 281 area, where you could possibly go down to the 250 area, which this would possibly be a buy, but you have great consolidations for more selling. When this thing's said and done, I think we're going to 207. Maybe this pivot around 220, but we'll see how this pattern. This is a monthly chart, so it might take a little longer to possibly sell. But look, on a monthly chart, 4 bars sideways, boom. Now we're 7 bars sideways. That means more compression, more pressure building. So if this does come in, it's going to blast. They're setting up to move it through this area. So if you're bullish, just be ready. This thing can start tanking. And if the SPY and the Qs and everything else starts selling, it's over. So again, that's the IBB. Love this today. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to show you on the 60-minute. This is what I think they're going to try to do. They have to get this thing above, I'm going to say this area. Yeah, you know what? That area right there, around 280. I'm going to say 290, 289 to 290. Anywhere above this moving average. So I wouldn't doubt we start to go up tomorrow, retrace. We come back into this area. That could be a good area to short. If it goes up higher, then we'll look to short it up into this area. Or we'll go to the XBI since it's a little more liquidity. Today we had 3.7 million on this one, which we never have. But man, that was classic. But we're also looking, if this thing goes down, I want to see it close below this candle wick, then I think we're on. Let's see. Yeah, I think we could definitely fill this gap in here. Definitely come to this area of pretty good support. You have this, and then you have the window here. So 280, 279, anywhere in this area. Let's go back to the daily. Do we have any 289? Yeah, you have the 618 there too. And ultimately the gap fill at 276.88. All right, guys, that's enough for the IBB. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, shoot me an email at stockbookie@gmail.com. Thanks, everybody, for watching. God bless. See you on the charts.